Hi, welcome back. How you doing today? Today we're going to do a easy poblano corn and chicken chowder. Now you may wonder what the difference between stews and chowders are, and I looked it up. Soups have a lot of liquid in them. Stews are like your beef stew, etc. that doesn't have very much liquid in it, and chowder is typically, it has cream in it. Well, I can't have cream, so we're going to use coconut milk today. Let me show you how to make it dairy free. I got my Instant Pot out. It's finally fall. I'm going to make this soup for you. We're into the last part of the corn season, so I figured I'd make you a corn recipe. And got my Instant Pot here, and I'm going to turn it on saute. And it's got to heat up, and as soon as it does, we'll be back. First of all, I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, maybe 3. Now this is not your regular butter. This is a plant butter made by Country Crock. Has a very good flavor, and it's dairy free. I think I'm going to do 3. You can tell I'm not using a measuring spoon. We're going to let that melt. And first we're going to get our onions in. Now if you have an Instant Pot like I'm doing, this is my favorite utensil. Why? Because it's got a flat top. And we're going to let this saute for a little bit. Now let me tell you about poblanos. This is a poblano. It's frozen, but I just wanted to show you what they look like. Now we had 3 little poblanos that we grew on our porch in our pots, and that's what I'm using up today because I don't want them to go bad. And they actually turned red. Why? Because they sweetened up on the vine. And so I'm going to put these in later. And now there's a lot of things about poblanos. They ask you to roast them, which I just did, and I'm going to show you on another video how to do that. But I put these on a cookie sheet in the oven and put it close to the broiling temperature. And what you want to see is the skin blackened on the poblanos. Now there's different ways you can do that. I don't have a gas stove anymore. I used to just put them on the burner and turn them around and flip them around until they got black. I have an electric stove, so I'm broiling them under the broiler. You can also put them on your grill. And what you want to do after that, after they get dark, is to put them in a plastic bag or a bowl with cellophane over it and let it sit for like 10 minutes. And then once it's cool enough to touch, you're going to take it out and peel that skin off. Then you're going to take the seeds and stem out, and you're going to get rid of all those seeds. Now people say don't rinse it under cold water, but I found sometimes you just have to get rid of all the seeds. Now we've eaten poblanos without peeling them. They say the reason you want to roast them is to make them sweeter and to take off that toughened skin. Well, I've chopped them up and put them in stuff all the time, so this is a step you really probably don't have to do, but it's recommended for my recipe today. And we're going to let this cook for a few minutes. It's sauteing right now, and we'll be back in a second. Your onions have cooked for about 3 minutes on saute. Next I'm going to add in the garlic. Now people would probably yell at me and say that this jarred stuff is not as good as the real stuff, or the fresh stuff I should say. But sometimes you just don't have time to cut up garlic, or you don't have any. If you don't have any garlic, use garlic powder in your cupboard. And we're going to saute this for probably 1 minute because your garlic will burn and turn bitter. Okay, next I'm going to add in the seasonings. Now I hope I don't start coughing, but this is Cajun Seasoning. It's 1 teaspoon. And it's a Tony Saturins. I have about 4 different Cajun seasonings on my shelf that I've tried, and that's the one I like. I'll put in my peppers. Got to get every single one out of the bowl. Stir, stir, stir. Next is salt and pepper. That's about 1/4 teaspoon, maybe half. I'm not sure how much my pinch is. And then we're going to do, of course, black pepper, which is a favorite in our household. And here comes my Dijon Mustard, ladies and gentlemen. 1 teaspoon. This deepens the flavor. And you won't taste the mustard. Okay, stir, stir, stir. We're going to add chicken broth. Now I had a thing of chicken broth in for stock. I buy stock all the time. In my refrigerator that I use about 1 cup on my roasted chicken. And so I took a cup of hot water and I got my better than bouillon out from the refrigerator and did a cup of that. Now mind you, I'm using unsalted chicken stock, but the better than bouillon has salt in it, so I'm not salting it too much right now. And I made 4 cups of chicken broth. Now, if you're vegan, you want to add vegetable stock, not chicken. And next we're going to add our potatoes. This is about 2 halfway decent size potatoes. And next we're going to add our corn. Now I'm using corn that I got from the farmer's market and cut it off the stalk or cob. And then I'm going to add this in here. It's about 4 cups of corn. Now I'm going to leave my chicken out that I cooked the other day. I made the roasted chicken and now I have pieces of it to put into my soup, but it's already cooked, so I don't want to add it yet. I want this to cook. And if you want to add different seasonings, add different seasonings like cumin, thyme, rosemary. Do whatever you want, but I made the chicken with thyme and rosemary so the taste comes through, and I'm just going to leave that part out. So we're going to take our lid and put it on. Make sure it's sealed. And we're going to take it off a saute, which you press the cancel button. And then you're going to pressure cook or manual, whatever model you have. And we're going to go 8 minutes. Now you don't have to stand there and go. You can just hold the button down and it'll roll up for you, or roll up or down. Okay, now we're set for 8 minutes. I like to push down on my lid to make sure it's sealed. And it's dinging on me already, so we'll be back in about 8 minutes. Okay, our Instant Pot cooked, and then I let it sit there for 10 minutes, and then I pushed the steam button and waited for the little button on top to drop. So now I can take the lid off. What we're going to do is we're going to take the boat motor, as Emerald used to call it, hand immersion blender. Now you can do this in food processor or a regular blender, but just be careful because adding hot liquid to whatever you have can overflow and burn you. So we want to cream this together, and then we'll add our chicken and our coconut cream, coconut milk. It looks nice and creamy from the potatoes because they're a thickener. And scrape off the thing sticking to the bottom of it. Okay, now, because the fact that the chicken is already cooked, I'm going to put this back on saute, which is going to bring it to a boil. But I'm going to add my chicken just to warm it up a little bit. So I'm going to put the chicken in now. Again, I said that this was from my roasted chicken recipe I did the other day, and I will add the link to my recipe. Need a spoon. Oh, this looks good. Now here's where you want to do your first taste test. And the reason you want to do that is if you don't taste your food, if it doesn't have enough salt, then it's going to be bland. No, we don't want that. I always put it in a spoon and then I blow on it. And it's hot. Now you could cream this up more and make it really creamed, but I like chunks of corn and I'm not going to do that. It's starting to come to a boil. Now I have a can of coconut milk. This is full fat. This is what we're going to use instead of heavy cream. And that's because we can't dairy-free have heavy cream. Now to make this vegan, all you have to do is make a mess, and then don't add the chicken. I already told you if you want to add vegetable stock instead of chicken broth, chicken stock, then you can do that. Now I'm not going to add the whole thing right at once. I'm adding half a can and stirring it. And then I'm going to add the rest of it. Now I shook this up really good. You have to shake coconut milk up good because it gets a fat... I just lost my spoon in the Instant Pot. It gets a fat layer on it and you don't want that. Let me fish that out. Be careful, it's hot. Now we want to do our second taste test. Why? Because we've added something else to it that could bring the salt level down. And see if we want to add more salt or more pepper. I'm just going to add a little bit more salt. You might want to add a little bit more pepper. Now you can put jalapenos in this, and that's for the people that don't mind the spice. I can't do that, so when I serve it up for my husband, I might put a piece of pickled jalapeno on the top with a little bit of juice. And I think this is going to be pretty good. Stir it around, let the salt dissolve in there. Might need some more pepper, but I'm fine with it right now. Tastes mighty fine to me. Okay, now I'm going to turn the saute button off, which you push the cancel button. And we're going to have dinner. Let me dish it up for you. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I forgot to get some cilantro. Now, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm not chopping it. I'm just using my scissors to clip it off. We like cilantro in this house. There's a lot of people that claim that they don't like it. Let me keep going. It's not enough for me. Okay. Stir it up. I'm going to ladle it into the bowl. Try to get some chicken in there along with the potatoes and corn and poblanos. Now, to make it for people that can stand the heat, I'm going to take a little bit of jalapenos here. Put it on the top. For my husband, I'm going to put more than one. And a little bit of juice. Some more cilantro. And you can put some sour cream on there. I have the lactose free, but remember that's not dairy free, so it's up to you, whatever you can stand, or tolerate I should say. A little bit of juice. And that's it. Now let me tell you, support your local businesses. We've had, in our small town of Honesdale, Pennsylvania, we've had one of our favorite restaurants shut down. They couldn't make it because of the virus. And make sure that you walk along your main street where you have little shops where you can stop in and say hi and see if there's anything there you want to support them with. Also, your local farmers, they work very hard from dusk to dawn. I know because my uncle was one. Anyway, make sure you support them. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more crazy recipes, and I'll see you later. Bye.